Hey yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning in to this episode of World of Tanks. Tracker 001, Clan GFLC, my clan. He did a thing. This is audience participation, folks. Tracker did a thing, and the question is, did the thing matter? Right? Did the thing matter? We're going to watch Tracker in his bottom tier scout. This is something that people struggle with a lot. What do I do? How am I effective in a bottom tier scout? Of course, the next question is, well, what is effective? Well, if I do 3,000 damage and I'm top experience, then I'm probably pretty effective. But what are some of the other more esoteric, subjective things that you can do as a bottom tier tank, whether it's a scout or a medium or heavy or whatever it is? So what he does initially is go over to this kind of standard spot that scouts go to here on whatever this place is called, Westfield. And this is a little bit foolish because he's going to take a shot he probably didn't want to take right there. BAP, because the magic 430 does not miss. Not only does he hit him from that range, he takes out his gun. But this is a pretty standard place to go, isn't it? Mediums go here, lights go here, and they hang out and they get stagnated. And then even if they win, they often struggle to get back to the fight where it matters. So let's just take a look at this. That's where Tracker went. He sits there for a bit. He's got two mediums kind of camping with him here. Looks like two tier 8s. The 430 and the Mod 1 are over there, and they're kind of winning this side, but they haven't been able to push in yet. More than likely, there are several tanks down here because Tracker's team didn't send any over to the... Get it over here. Tracker's team didn't send any over to the... What is it? About E6 area or so at the bottom of the town right there. So Tracker's going to change what he's doing, and that is the question, right? What do I do with my bottom tier light tank or medium tank to be effective? How do I affect the battle positively and help my team win? He sent me the note and he said, well, I went over to that spot. It looked like we had it handled. His team's not doing much with it now, are they? They're just kind of sitting there. Probably because they're taking shots from tanks in the bushes at about G4 or 5, somewhere in that area. He completely flexes. It's time to flex. He's going to flex to the north. He looked at that and said, well, I saw that the north was in trouble. They needed some help. They needed another tank over there. So I went in there and I became as annoying as possible. And I talk about this a lot. It's one of the reasons I bring light tanks over to this area quite often myself, to help the TDs and the heavy tanks. Now, you will notice that there are a lot of TDs in this game, and they are all camping for the most part. Sitting in the back, you got the 704 up there. The WZ is camping. That's not very helpful. He's way back there. The Scorpion, the Su-130. The 704 is at least forward, and they've already lost their, what was that, an O-Ho right there. So the question then is, audience participation. Did Tracker's move help out? Well, let's watch what happens here. He's using his mobility, trying not to get pinned down in one spot, coming around, lighting guys up, taking shots of opportunity when he can. I think I would have fixed my gun there, Tracker. I'm not sure if you noticed the gun was damaged earlier. Here comes the T10, wants a piece of Tracker, down he goes. Now, those are the little things right there, right? Did he get any spotting out of that? I don't think so. He's got, there you go, there's a little bit right there. It wasn't a whole bunch, but the T10 looked like he wanted to go get rid of Tracker. And now the T10 is non-existent. The turtle gets hit. So a little bit more assist there. We got only 752 assists, but we're that annoying fly in the ointment for the red team. As long as we're kind of rolling around right here, keeping guys lit, all these campers in the back are getting shots. And we are that annoying guy at the critical terrain trying to help this team, trying to help drag this team into some kind of winning condition. The turtle takes a shot, so he backs out of there. And a good job of keeping moving, because one of the things he does want to avoid is taking artillery fire. And to some extent, he's a bit lucky that none of those 3 artillery got enamored of him. Here comes the defender. Looks like the defender wants a piece. He takes a hit, another big hit into the defender. So we're at 776 assists. And again, still, you might not look at this and go, well, what an amazing game, because it's not damage-wise and assist-wise. Doesn't have any kills. He doesn't have any damage right now. Only 776 assists. But he's helping his team hold on up here in the north. And one of the reasons I don't really like going over here on the east side is exactly what has happened. They went over there, they won, quote, won, but then stagnated, and it looks like they lost some tanks anyway. The LPC at least came back across, is now working into the bottom of the town right there. Now the 705 is making a move over to the right. This is actually pretty funny. I don't know if Tracker noticed the 705 because he's going to come up this way, and he's looking there, and then all of a sudden the 705 is looking right at him, and then just snap. Takes a snap into the guy. It looks like we fixed our gun in there somewhere. So we put at least one shot in the 705. Oh, 705 is looking for a kill, and he's going to get it. So mistake right there, end game for Tracker. Coming up and over this, I guess it was this hill right here, letting the 705 hit him, and then flowing into this flatter area here where the 705 is going to have shots. So he should have at that point contained himself into the bowl area right here, only just poking up enough to get sight of the 705. The nice thing about this spot is sometimes they can be hiding out, especially these bushes here. He's actually a little too far over to the right to make that happen. The cursor just drives me crazy on this. Why is it so off? I have to look in two different places. Irritating! Anyway, there he is right there, the 705. And working on, let's move it over here, working on this hill. This is really hard to do. Working on this hill to light the 705 and let some of these campers back here have shots at him. Although he is pretty well covered up, really, from the Su-130, the WZ, and not as much, but maybe the Scorpion G can get some shots in there. Unfortunately, ends up dying. So this team ends up winning. 254 damage, 776 assists. But so let's discuss that down in the comments section. What do you guys think? Did his flex matter? Was it critical? Was it helpful? Was it critical, helpful, and mattered? You know, what do you guys think? What I would say is I wouldn't say it actually turned the tide, but it was extremely helpful to Tracker's team holding on up here a little bit longer and keeping this force from pushing into them. Interestingly, this is something I see a lot on this map now, especially from this side, is a lot of guys are going to camp back in this back edge in these bushes and hope that somebody is up here spotting and take shots at these guys. And I often also see red teams continue to push into a bunch of hidden snipers sitting back here and pay the price. So it is a very interesting thing. The meta seems to be shifting a little bit. This used to be a really good fight right here, but it appears that in general people don't like this side for the spawn, and they do struggle to some extent trying to get up here and get shots and win this side. It's not as easy from the red side to sit on the back row back here and shoot at them as you come up and over from this side. So that's just something I've noticed. In addition to that, I'm going to have a video coming out at some point. It may have already come out, but I'm about to talk about the TD meta as well, because it's really becoming cancer, especially when you've got WZ-111 TD sitting back there as well. But nicely done there, Tracker. I think you did the right thing. I think it was the right decision. I think it was helpful to your team. I wouldn't say it was the actual key that turned the critical win, but it was very, very important to what was going on up in the north. And had you been able to stay alive a little bit longer, it would have become more and more important, I think. Your team ended up winning because I believe these guys just keep pushing into this sniper line like a bunch of Muppets. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Seriously, down below, let's talk about it. Let's find out what you guys think. Audience participation was Tracker's flex, his reposition, if you will, up here, critical to the win, part of the win, or inconsequential? That's all I've got. We will see you.